Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me for Rapid Response. Let's dive in.
I just want to take a step back and sort of point out we've kind of been here before. So August 13th, how far were the polls off in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin? And this is in 2016 and 2020. Trump was estimated both times around and by significant margins. Take a look here. In 2016, the average poll in those states that I mentioned, those Great Lake battleground states, Trump was underestimated by 9 points on average at this point in 2016. How about 2020? It wasn't a one-off. Look at this. He was underestimated by 5 points on average. And of course, Kamala Harris's advantage in those New York Times Siena College polls were 4 points in each of these key battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. The bottom line is this. If you have any idea, if you're a Kamala Harris fan and you want to rip open the champagne bottle, pop that cork, do not do it. Donald Trump is very much in this race. If we have a polling shift like we've seen in prior years from now until the final result, Donald Trump would actually win. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I am saying that he is very much in this ballgame based upon where he is right now and compare that to where he was in prior years.
We certainly heard the Harris campaign saying we have to keep fighting.
Absolutely.
This is definitely not over. All right. Let's talk about enthusiasm and how that translates actually. We are quite a ways out, again, 3 months about.
Yeah, yesterday I was mentioning, the enthusiasm for the Democratic ticket was up.
Yeah.
But that enthusiasm is not the same thing as going out to actually vote. And there's a different question, which essentially says, how certain are you actually going to go out and vote? And this is the top range. Almost certain to vote. Again, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. This is among registered voters. Look at this. Look at Kamala Harris now compared to where Joe Biden was back in May. In fact, 62% of Joe Biden voters said they were almost certain to turn out and vote. Now,
It's gone down.
It's actually gone down a little bit. I would call this in the same general area at 61%. But it's basically unchanged. And look at Donald Trump. He was at 58% in May. He's actually gone up a little bit now. He's at 60% now. Again, basically no real change. So the bottom line here is, yes, there may be more enthusiasm for Kamala Harris, but the fact is we're not seeing that necessarily translate in the almost certain vote. And one little other note, Sarah, I will note this. Donald Trump is more popular today than he was on August 13th in either 2020 or 2016. So the bottom line is, yes, Kamala Harris is doing better in the polls, but there's a long way to go. The polls can shift. The almost certain to vote hasn't actually shifted, and Donald Trump is more popular than he was at either 2016 or 2020 at this point.
Those are interesting data points, Harry Enton. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
I already have complex PTSD, in case anybody was wondering. America is a very sick country. That Donald is more popular now is such a devastating commentary. Like, it just, man. In 2016, it was, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning on November 9th. Just on a scrap of paper, I wrote 3 words. I wasn't trying to be alliterative, but they're the words that came to my mind. Demeaned, diminished, and defiled. That's what America did to itself by letting Donald Trump anywhere near the White House. I don't know that we ever recover from it at all. But the fact that this traitor, this vile, depraved traitor, is popular with 44% of the voters in this country is just, whoa. I mean, what to make of that? Well, nothing right now because we have a job to do. Yes, enthusiasm doesn't translate. Although I just want to say something quickly about 2016. 2016 was an outlier. What that poll doesn't take into account is the way Hillary Clinton was treated in the weeks heading into the election between the FBI and especially the New York Times. Like, it's not like, oh, suddenly people decided not to vote for her just because. Remember this? But her emails. hmm in 6 days before the election, the New York Times ran more front page stories about the Hillary Clinton non-scandal than they did in the 69 days before the election about all policy positions combined. There's a reason her lead evaporated. So let's just set 2016 aside as the outlier it is. 2020, I don't understand. I mean, I guess Donald hadn't killed enough people yet for voters to start thinking maybe they shouldn't keep him in the White House. As for now, I don't know. He's he himself is significantly diminished, and I mean, I'm not worried. Well, all right, of course I'm worried, but I think as his performance becomes more central, like he's hiding out right now. He's doing these staged events and he's still failing miserably at them, but he's just not doing them often enough. So I don't think the casual observer uh is aware yet of just how badly he's deteriorating in front of our eyes. But you know what? It doesn't matter. We're Democrats. We need to run as if we're 5 points behind because we always are. Even if it's even, we'll lose because of the Electoral College. We need to win by at least 2 to 4 points. So let's run this race as if we're 5 points behind, and we believe that we need to win by 10. Okay. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will keep doing what they're doing to keep us motivated. But what should also keep us motivated is the fact that tens of millions of our fellow Americans still think Donald Trump is the guy. And that, if that's not motivating, I don't know what to tell you. So let's just blinders on, nose to the grindstone.
Continue wants to say cultural issues as a code word for
Wait a minute.
rube, white, rural, Christian, heterosexual, male, nationalist, that are just focused on their wives being too mouthy, sir.
Yeah. Well, look, let's just be frank. Women have become too mouthy. As the black men in the room, I'll say that. I don't know whether we're talking white men or Asian men or black men or so on and so forth. But no, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, there was, and the thing that is scary about it, and I say this, and people will go, "Oh,
hold
well,
it, hold it."
just,
Can I officially say that Joy Reid's Black Girl Magic does not work with Royce White? Can we just? I just want to make sure. Don't take it from me. I just want Royce to say it.
You know you're gonna send me off. You go to Joy Ann Reid, and if she's wearing a white woman's wigs, you're gonna piss me off this afternoon. I'm having a beautiful day without thinking about that scam. But what I'll say is, you take a operation like the Rockefeller Foundation and their grassroots fundamental support and sponsorship of the early women's rights movement, and their involvement with the inception of the Federal Reserve, and the ability of the Federal Reserve to tax the American working class twice with the insertion of women into the workplace. Now, I know we could look at World War II and say, hey, women had to step into the workplace because of the war. But when you look at the inception of the war, there might have been an economic incentive there as well. So, I mean, these things have a history. And the people like Joy Ann Reid, they're banking on the fact that the modern American citizen is too hard up financially, too demoralized spiritually, and too busy in their everyday logistics, whether it be with family or kids, or God forbid, going to the next Brazilian butt lift celebrity doctor to look into the history.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been busy doing. Oh, thank you for elucidating that issue, Royce White. I just want to say though, congratulations, Amy Klobuchar. Your reelection has just been confirmed. I don't even think we need to run this race. What the fuck? That that an under-reconstructed misogynist is like roaming free in America in 2024, and that he is the Republican candidate for the Senate. Okay. There's so much wrong with everything in that clip. It's Steve Bannon out of prison. Why is Steve Bannon out of prison? First of all. Secondly, everything that Royce White said is so offensive as to be cartoonish. Who voted for him? All right. Yeah, I think let's leave it here. Thank you, Republican primary voters, for being such unbearable assholes that you keep picking people like that who make it that much easier for Democrats to win. I wish you'd done a better job in Maryland. Thank you so much for joining me for a rapid response. Really appreciate it. And again, just to remind you, if you could please click on the subscribe button, it would be very appreciated. We're so close to getting to 100,000 subscribers. And wouldn't it be cool if you were the 100,000th? I can't even say that. But, it would be awesome. Anyway, doesn't cost anything. It just means that you are alerted every time new videos drop here. Also, if you could like the episode and share it with anybody you think might be interested or get a kick out of them or find them informative, that would be amazing as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.